I'm Jenny Lauren Dowden for Conduit News. Today we have Jennifer Lancaster joining us. She is 2nd District Chair and President of the Saline County Republican Women. She's also first Vice Chair there in Saline County Republican Committee. Here today to talk about an action that county committee just recently took regarding former Governor Asa Hutchinson. Hi, Jennifer.
Hi, Jenny.
Thank you so much for joining us today. I want to talk about something that just recently happened there in Saline County. Your Republican committee took a vote, became the first in the state to do this, to give Hutchinson his first not a recommended candidate designation here in Arkansas. Talk to us about that.
Yes, well, thank you for having me on. So a couple weeks ago during the April county committee meeting, one of our members stood up and made a presentation about why she did not think Asa Hutchinson should be a recommended candidate, or why she thought he should be a not recommended candidate. Mm-hmm. And so this is done merely by a motion. It's not a resolution. It is a motion. And under our RPA rules, Republican Party of Arkansas's rules, it's Article 1, Section 5. Let me pull it up just to make sure I'm telling you right. Section 5A. Any county committee may do this with a 2/3 vote of the members present at any regular or duly announced special meeting. And so that is what we did. This woman stood up. Her name is Angela Ross. She made her presentation. She made her case. There was some discussion back and forth, but ultimately the body voted by more than 2/3 to give Mr. Hutchinson a not recommended status.
Talk to us, if you would, just briefly about that presentation. What were the reasons that that county committee member gave to categorize him as not a recommended candidate?
Well, first, of course, it was his vote to veto. I'm sorry, it was his veto of the bill that would have prevented kids from being subjected to the transgender surgeries. Second, it was his masking of our school children, his support and furtherance of that. And third, it was his less than stellar record on matters of life, which our second principle of the Republican Party of Arkansas is that we believe in the sanctity of life. And so some of his actions were clear violations of our principles, parties, and platform.
Was there any pushback or blowback whenever either in the discussion there in the county committee meeting or afterwards that's happened?
There was some discussion at the meeting. There was a question about whether or not he was in fact a candidate according to our rules. One of our individuals had called the FEC prior to the meeting to confirm that he had in fact filed his paperwork, and he had, and we were given a candidate ID number, so we confirmed that he was a candidate. So any county committees that are considering doing a similar action, they may either want to call or they can reach out to our county committee and we can provide that information. There was also just some discussion about whether or not this should be done. Of course, with Mr. Hutchinson being from Arkansas, but our people felt very firmly about their position and that Mr. Hutchinson is not the person to lead our country. And so the people spoke, and ultimately it was passed.
Talk to us about what type of message this sends, not only to the rest of Arkansans, but those who are going to be watching this presidential race. Would it be fair to say that Arkansans, particularly those in Saline County Republican Committee, they don't want to mislead other Republicans across the country? I think that if you look at things at face value or just like on the surface level, he could seem like a very pragmatic, common sense, conservative. But for those who may be more familiar with happenings here in the state, they wouldn't agree with that. What do you think about that?
Well, you're right. I believe the sentiment here among most Arkansans is that he is not the conservative that we would like to see as president of the United States. We need someone very bold, very strong, and who is not going to waver on matters of life, on matters of national security and others. And so any county committee that believes the same is within their right, within our Republican Party rules, to give him a not recommended status for any candidate that they do not think adheres to our party's principles or platform, then they can certainly do that.
In the last Republican primary election, I believe before the election, Izard County Republican Committee gave a not recommended candidate to former Senator James Sturch. That many would say was influential in that Senate race. Do you anticipate other counties doing this as well?
I believe so. We have had quite a few counties actually reach out to us about the process and the procedure for getting this done. And we'll see if they're going to do the same with Mr. Hutchinson or anyone else who may be in the race.
All right. Well, anything else that you want to add before we let you go?
I just want to encourage our county committees to be bold, be strong, look at every candidate very thoroughly, look at their records, and follow the rules to a T. And I look forward to seeing more activity from our wonderful county committees that are being led by some great chairmen.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Jennifer.
Thank you, Jenny.